Hey everybody, this is your girl Shantanique Langston. I am your personal and professional relationship coach and the host of Candid Conversations. And I am excited about tonight's conversation. We're going to be talking about the truth about ghosting. And so there's so many different layers to ghosting. Everyone has their own definition of what that looks like. But tonight we're going to really talk about some things that may hurt some people's feelings, but that's okay because we really want to help people understand that you don't have to ghost people, but you can actually have or end a relationship or a dating relationship in a healthy manner. And so tonight we're going to be talking about that and some. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys share this video with anybody you know who's experiencing ghosting and need to know how to navigate through their feelings. And also, of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If anything that resonates with you, make sure you follow me here and also on Instagram at Nick Speaks. And of course, my co-host tonight, none other than Leon Walker. He is a big brother of mine. And I'm grateful that he has joined us tonight to drop some mad gems to help some ladies out there get their life together and some men. Without further ado, I want you to go ahead, Leon, just tell the people who you are and what you do.
All right. Thanks for having me, Nick. Leon Walker from Cleveland, Ohio. I have 3 kids, 4 godkids. I have a grandchild on the way next month. I served 32 years in the Navy. I was diagnosed with narcissism personality disorder many, many years ago. Now I like to help people. I spent 15 years out at sea. Half my career in the Navy was at sea. I was a drill sergeant, recruiter, taught navigation. After retirement in 2015 from the Navy, after serving 32 years, I became a teacher. I worked on a cruise liner, worked at the grocery store, did a lot of different things. I'm an author of 3 books. I have 2 more coming out this year. I love helping people. That's me in a nutshell. You know, I enjoy running. I enjoy great food, laughter, comedy, great movies. And bottom line is I like helping people, and it's my time. It's my time to give back, with this, relationship stuff, narcissism, and, I know it well.
Yes, and I'm so grateful. You guys, he was a part of my Encore conference last year, and he dropped some mad gems helping us navigate what does narcissism looks like and how to get out of a situation. And also, if you are a man who's dealing with these symptoms, how to navigate through that. So I appreciate your story. And you got to tell the people what the name of your books, where they can go and purchase those books.
My first book is called Broken. It's on Amazon. My second book is called Keeping Kids Safe from Porn. It's on Amazon. It's a 43-page ebook. I try to give that one away because it's, I want to help people, but Amazon made me charge 99 cents. So that one is 99 cents. My books are fairly cheap. My third book is called Love Ship. It's all about relationships, love languages, growing in love instead of falling in love, and things like that. And my fourth book will be called it's called 7 Loveless Traits. We always talk about the love languages, but I did the opposite of the love languages. So I called it the loveless. It's the loveless languages, but I named it the loveless traits because I didn't want it to be too close to his book, The Love Languages.
Right.
Fifth book will be out late this year or early next year. It's called 1 Point, my second memoir about my first 4 years in the Navy. So the next book, 7 Loveless Traits, should be out probably September timeframe. That's what I'm shooting for.
Good.
I may get a copy.
Yes. Okay. Y'all will appreciate that because I know you talked about this last year about the 7 traits, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting that copy. And I'm also interested in getting the copy of the book for the kids because we're having our conference next year, and so we're going to talk after this because my conference is going to be talking about sexual preferences. We're going to be going in. So I'm giving you guys a little scoop of what's happening. I'm working in the dark right now. Guys downloading me some things concerning the conference next year. And we're going to be navigating some things when it comes to sex. So you definitely want to continue to stay updated for that. So I want to do an icebreaker real quick. And if you guys don't mind, you guys can join us too on in the chat. So the question tonight is, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I've been all over the world, serving 32 years in the Navy, so I've been everywhere. But the main place, when I was younger, I only went to the places to experience the exotic women. You know, with my personality sort of, it wasn't to tour, it wasn't to collect souvenirs. It was the women. You know, but as I got older, you know, I had a chance to go to the Great Wall of China, the Wailing Wall. If I can go anywhere, it would be Egypt, the pyramids for educational purposes. You know, because I've been to the Great Wall of China. I've been to um, the the Wailing Wall, the Sea of Galilee, the banks of Jordan. I've been all over there, but I never had a chance to go to Cairo, Egypt. You know, and as we transited across the Mediterranean to go into the Persian Gulf, we have to go through the Suez Canal, and so I had a chance to see between Africa and Saudi Arabia. It's a narrow channel, about 106 miles. You don't see the pyramids; they're so far away. But it's like just knowing that the pyramids are over here to your right. I wanted a chance to get over there and experience that. You know, the tombs and all of that. So, Haifa, Israel was a great experience for me. But I would definitely go to Cairo, Egypt, and visit the pyramids.
That's interesting. I would love to go to the Jordan to get baptized. Even though
Yeah,
I've already been baptized, but I've heard so many different stories of people going there and getting baptized in the Jordan. And I'm like, I would love to have
yeah,
that experience.
yeah,
People say this is a refreshing experience, so I'm like, I would love to get that.
yeah.
Yes. So let's go right into the definition of ghosting. Anytime I will give you guys information, just know Neek does her research. I don't be just giving you guys no hoopla. So Psychology Today says that it is abruptly ending communication with someone without explanation. The concept most often refers to romantic relationships, but can also describe disappearances from friendships and in the workplace. That's real.
Yeah,
Okay. People respond to being ghosting again in many ways, from different or from feeling indifferent to deeply betrayed. So ghosting someone is generally a immature, lazy, and selfish thing to
yeah,
do that hurts people and ruins relationships.
yeah,
Proverbs 18:6 and 7 talks about this. So I know people say, where is that in the Bible? So if you go to Proverbs 18:6 and 7, I have it in the message version. It says, the words of a fool start fights. Do him a favor and gag him. This is the message Bible. And it says, fools are undone by their big mouths. Their souls are crushed by their words. So I would tell people who are operating from that cup, be very careful, because the person that you're hurting, we don't know what that person, mentality is. They might be crazy. They might find you. They might get somebody to stalk you and do some harm to you because you ghosted them, instead of having a healthy conversation to end it and walk away where people are not being hurt at the end. So the first thing I want to talk about is the early signs of ghosting. So Leon, go ahead and tell the people, what are the early signs of ghosting?
First of all, it does stem from selfishness and immaturity. That's 100% correct. It does hurt people and it will make people stalk you. That's 100% correct. The first signs, so people that are going to ghost you, like me, I was a ghoster. I was a serial dater and I was a serial cheater. That are going to ghost you, I think there are two main reasons. First of all, they're not single. All right. And so when I wasn't single and being a serial dater and a serial cheater, and she had a certain agenda and I couldn't meet her agenda, I'm going to ghost her because I can't keep my word. For me, and this ties into love bombing. When I met women, it was all out and just give her everything up front, tell her anything, everything, make up stuff, lie, whatever. And so when it's time for me to be real with her about the relationships that I told her I would be real about, I couldn't be real. And so in essence, well, and hence the ghosting starts. Because when you love bomb, and everything ties into everything, the shunning, the silent treatment, the ghosting, right? And so when you love bomb somebody, there's no such thing as love bombing, first of all, because you can't bomb people with love. Love is genuine, it's sincere. So I wasn't genuine and I wasn't sincere to these women. And so when you love bombing her, you become this is another trait that narcissists have. You become very seductive. And so in a seductive stage or phase, I listened to what she wanted, needed, and desired, and I was going to give her that. Whether I knew how to do it or not. Most things I did know how to do because I was very manipulative. And so I had to learn things to be able to manipulate her. I had to be a great listener to be able to manipulate her. I had to be a great listener to be able to be seductive to her. So to when you're seductive towards somebody, you compliment them, you talk to them, listen, you show them attention, and then what they do, they fall in love with you. And so signs of love, signs of ghosting, um, when it starts hot and heavy with the love bombing, after about so me, I was a very sexual person. If I'm not going, she's not going to have sex with me the first 3 days, the first week, I'm going to start to slowly cut back. So the text messages are hot and heavy the first 3 days. The text messages are hot and heavy the first week. The phone calls are hot and heavy. The compliments are hot and heavy the first week. But because I was a very sexual person and very seductive, I needed, I was greedy and lustful. So if I didn't feel her agenda meeting mine, I started to pull back. So the signs are the man or woman scaling back after the first week. It's not going to take long. For me, the narcissistic personality disorder that I have and being very sexual, it's not going to take long for me to start scaling back because I want her body. And if she's not giving it to me soon enough, the text messages are not going to be as juicy. The phone calls are going to go from the first time 2 3 hours to 45 minutes to 30 minutes to 15 minutes. The text messages will be short. In the beginning, the text messages are long and juicy and wonderful, and in the morning and at lunch and at nighttime. But if your agenda doesn't meet mine sexually, because narcissistic people are greedy and lustful and they want three main things: sex, money, and favors. I didn't want money from a woman, but I wanted the favors, the sex. The favors could have been a sexual favors, could have been a massage, it could have been buying me small gift, whatever. And so everything ties into everything. And so once you start, the red flags are the tailoring down or the scaling back of the text messages and phone calls, the attention, the eye contact, the great conversation sitting next to the person, the planning. Hey, baby, let me come get you to go to breakfast. Oh, wow, that's nice. I haven't had breakfast in 6 months. I heard that. So women have to be careful with what they tell a Leon, okay? Because exactly what you tell him that you're not getting, he's going to do that for you. We mirror. That's the mirror, the mirroring the person. We do what you want done or what you haven't been getting. And it's not like you're controlling, domineering, or you're telling me what to do. You tell me what you haven't been getting, and so I'm going to capitalize on that. Which, and then hence becoming manipulative and vindictive towards the end. But first, manipulative, right, and seductive. So I use what you tell me against you.
I hope you all are taking notes because he is dropping mad gems, and I had some of the things he said written down that I wanted to go over. When it comes to ghosting, I receive fewer text messages. I receive pulling away, and
Yeah.
so my discernment is really high because of all the things that I do. And so when I experience that, I'm like, oh, let me just cut this off because it's not healthy for me. So I will tell women, please be alert, be aware when you start feeling your intuition trying to tap and knock on your door like hello, pay attention to what's happening. Because when you stop stimulating the man, you'll start seeing certain red flags like what's going on here. So it's very important to pay attention to those red flags. The next one I want to say is how to respond to ghosting when it happens. And I want you guys in the chat. Somebody said facts. This is absolutely true. Hey Donna. Hey Pink Lady. Good to see you tonight. So I want you guys in the chat to ask questions while we're on here. We're not gonna be on here too long. We're gonna do a recap on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you do so. I am at Neek Speaks on Instagram, and then Leon is Leon R. Walker on Instagram and on TikTok, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hey, Shantae. So he said, "Cut off, Queen." Oh yes, cut off. Period. We don't go into that, but I'm quick to cut somebody off, especially when they're not meeting me where I need them. And that's
Right.
another thing too. Men, they know their preferences, but a lot of the men don't know what they want, and some women too. And that's why they're able to play the game because they don't know what they want. So they're out there playing the field because they know. I'm sorry, not they don't know what they want. They do know what they want, but they don't know what they need. And so because they don't know what they need, they're playing the field.
Right.
My next question is how to respond to ghosting. How do we respond to that when we know it's happened to
So
us? How do we do that?
this is the thing, and this is why I talk to a lot of women, Nick, daily, hourly. I get a
Yeah.
lot of text messages, emails, phone calls, and so I. It's sad. It's really sad because I'm telling these women what I did for 20, 26 years straight
Mm-hmm.
in all of my relationships, including my marriage. I was a horrible husband. Okay. Narcissistic people, and this ties into which your question, what you should do after being ghosted. Narcissistic people do many things before ghosting. They plan, it's planned because if I meet you and I'm complimenting you on your body, your breast, your butt, your lips, those are the three things that, because I can't see your vagina, those are the three things that I'm interested in because I was interested in those things as a child and it never changed. It only changed through therapy because I hurt good women. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm complimenting you on your lips, your lip gloss, which is what I saw in porn, the ruby red lipstick, and it stuck with me. If I'm complimenting you on your breasts, your nipples, your butt, and I'm not complimenting you on your ambition and your mind and your mindset and your intelligence, that's a red flag. I'm going back to the first question. That's a red
Yes,
flag,
run.
right? And it's obvious, but women like, okay, y'all want to give a Leon a chance every time. And so narcissistic people, for me, I'm gonna stop saying people. Me, a Leon, um, I don't want to give you closure because I want to be able to always come back. So this ties into ghosting, what you should not do. When I ghost you, don't give a damn about me because I'm no good. When I ghost you, don't ask me to come back. When I ghost you, don't ask me why I ghost you because now you let me know that you're still there waiting on me. You want me to come back and you're still hurting, which is why I talk about closure. I'm not going to give you closure because I want to be able to come back. This ties
Mhm.
into the discard and the recycle and the discard. I did a video on that too. So women have a tendency to, and I talked to two ladies today. It just baffles me that why they want him to come back. Leon, he ghosted me. I just had a conversation today. Why did he do that? And I told her why. So what should I do? Don't ask him why. Don't look for closure. Don't ask him when he's coming back. If he's coming back, don't cry on the phone. Don't beg and don't and plead. He is not your man. You're not number one. You're number two, three, four, or maybe number five. With me, there were always three or four women. Each one of them had something different. It was great in bed. One was great with favors, right? One was and empath. Leon, you need air in your tires. Leon, I'm gonna take a car and get gas, put gas in it, whatever. And so don't ask him or her to explain anything to you. They ghosted you. They left you. They ghosted you. They're with somebody else. It's just that simple. I know it sounds harsh. It's cruel. It's shrewd. But don't ask a person why they left you alone. Don't ask a person why they cheated on because when they ghost you, like I said, your agenda didn't meet mine sexually. That's all it was. It's not like I want to build an LLC with you. I want to write a business plan with you. Your agenda didn't meet my sexual agenda. I wasn't single when I ghosted you, so I had to pull back because I felt you fall in love with me, but I'm already or liking and somebody else is already in love with me. So it's two or three of you all. And so that's why I had an issue with dating strong women because they wouldn't put up with my mess. I would date the women that had low self-esteem and low confidence, and I was a predator. And so that fed my ego, and they were easy to ghost and come back. They're gonna always call me back. Because when I went into a woman's life, I went in there, I went in there full blown, 100% egotistical, self-centered, greedy, and lustful. And so by the time I was done with her, all she wanted to do was see or talk to me. And then she would take anything that I would say or do. I would leave at 2, 3 in the morning, go where, come back smelling like smoke and liquor. I would not call her for 2 or 3 days. And when I called her, when I got ready, it was like I groomed the women for that. And so don't ever ask a man if he ghosts you, ghost his ass, period.
Okay, yes, you said a mouthful. We have a few things going on in the chat right now. Donna said, "My husband is a narcissist. I caught him 5 months today, cheating 5 months today. He's been cheating, and today is our anniversary. Today is your anniversary? Wait a minute. And then Tamara said, how do you suggest therapy to a narcissist?
So what happens, the thing about it, you ready? Ready, Nick?
Yeah, I'm reading her, Donna. So Donna, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. You said, I'm sorry, we were jumping. I just wanted to read Donna's again, because she was saying that she caught her husband cheating 5 months today, and then said he's been cheating, and today's our anniversary. And then now Tamara's asking, okay, so today is your, and so you already caught him cheating in the past 5 months, and today is your anniversary. Okay, so Donna, what are you doing to get help? Are you receiving help? Are you talking to your husband about this? Leon, do you want to jump in before we
Yeah.
address the mirror?
Yeah, when a husband gets caught cheating, that wasn't the first time. So me being a serial dater and a serial cheater, I cheated on almost everyone. The cheating aspect is a thrill, and they don't talk about this scientifically. Psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists don't talk about the cheating is a thrill, and it supersedes love and care and empathy and sympathy. The thrill of cheating is like a drug. It's a high. So nothing can come near the thrill of cheating and not getting caught, or cheating and getting caught and you taking me back.
Okay. So
So
she's okay. Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
so like they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. That's true to a certain extent, but you can get help and you can win yourself off of cheating, but you have to win yourself off of the demonic spirit, the lust and the greed that you have for women, sex, and porn. It all ties into each other. And so women that go through that, I took a lot of women through that. You have to understand that you're number two, three, or four, like I mentioned earlier, and he has not only a trait, but he has a mental disorder. Because I was able to sleep with a woman and then go to another woman and sit next to her like nothing happened. And
So Don, I do have a question for Donna. So Donna, is he diagnosed with narcissistic disorder?
right,
Because she's saying that they haven't spoke to each other, so you guys are separated. I'm glad you guys are separated. So I want you going through that now. Has he been diagnosed? And then we're gonna go back to Tamara. Hey, Susanna. She said go some period. Yeah. Because if you probably, like you said, you probably seen the signs before you got married. You said the person he's been. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, my question was your husband diagnosed? No, he doesn't know. Oh, he doesn't know. Okay.
so she's right. He doesn't, because I didn't know. I knew. Here's the thing. He knows something is wrong. He knows that what he's doing is wrong, period. Narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath, schizophrenic, whatever. You know that something is wrong with what you're doing. If you're flirting with another woman and you're married, it's wrong. If you're sleeping with another woman and you're married, it's wrong. If you're sexing, it's wrong. I can say these things now, but when I did it, nobody could have told me that it was wrong, because
Right.
the greed, lust, and the thrill of doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tamara's question?
Tamara's question is, how do you suggest therapy to a narcissist?
So you have to be careful in your delivery, because when you say, so a person like me, not only narcissistic personality disorder, but PTSD and anger issues, right?
Mm.
So you have to be careful with your delivery. If that man or woman that you suggest in therapy to is not receptive to that and they're not ready, they're not going to go. There has to be a reason for them to attach themselves to. The only reason why I went into therapy 3 times before I sat on the fourth time and stayed. I went early in my 20s, and in my 30s and 40s, I went and walked out. Now, the reason why I stayed is because it was tied to my retirement and my disability. which once they started screening me for PTSD, I had already had the personality disorder. I had to finish up my naval um, physical, and so I had to sit in therapy. I had to complete it. I had to get the diagnosis for other things. But if there's nothing tied to it, and sadly, you can tell a man, hey, many kids are leaving you, Leon, if you don't get help. It's not good enough, sadly. There has to be, for me, it was a financial gain because I was still in that narcissistic personality disorder. Mine had to be a financial gain. It had to be something in it for me. And sat me down and said, you need to complete this or we can't process your retirement paperwork. If there's nothing in it for the narcissistic person or the person with the traits, if there's nothing in it for them to sit down for a year or 6 months and get their diagnosis, whatever the diagnosis is, if there's nothing in it for them, they're not going to do it. If for some men, the threat of losing their family, that can make them sit in therapy because a man does not, men, we don't like losing our families, but one thing for sure, we don't want to know that another man is sleeping with our wife or our soon to be ex-wife.
Y'all hear that? That's even, I would say, men who are in the friend zone too. Because men who are in the friend zone, they are hoping that they can be next. That's a whole nother
Right.
thing.
Right.
Adonis said the person he was cheating on her with was a bisexual. I mean,
well, the bisexual woman. So that means that he had access to her and possibly another friend or two of hers. So that's the lust and the greed. It all ties into each trait ties into one another. So being with his wife, he had some issues from his childhood that made him want to go outside the marriage. And when you go outside the marriage, most times it's for sexual reasons. Sometimes it's for to get your ego stroked or to feel like a man because you don't feel like your wife is treating you like a man. But I felt that way too, but I caused my wife to not treat me that way because of my infidelity. So I created who she ultimately became, and that's what I had to deal with.
so now I have a question for Donna. What are you doing to receive healing? Because I see your comments in, right now, and I want to know what are you doing for you? Because my whole purpose of being on here is to really help women receive their healing. And so one thing I believe that's important that we need to address when it comes to responding to ghosting is honoring your feelings. You know, and
Stop giving so many.
feeling that. Yeah, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leon.
Stop giving so many chances because if they ghost you once,
Did it again.
that's the beginning stages of disrespect. That's the beginning stages of not caring, the lack of empathy and sympathy. They'll do it again. And if you take them back, now you're telling Leon that you're okay. I know you ghosted me 3 times, but we can work through it. I'm going to keep doing it because you accept it.
Okay. You said praying and crying. So I want you to, think about the feelings. You need to rest in the feelings. It's okay. You're human. It's okay to feel that. And then it's time for you to start getting that help. It's time for you to go talk to a trusted friend or even go and seek some therapy so you can start that healing process and not beat yourself up. Praying is only part of this. Okay. Praying for what? Praying for him or praying for you. So right now it's
Him.
really about you.
A lot of women. A lot of women pray for the perpetrator. They pray for me.
Yeah.
Don't pray. Women go to therapy for an hour a week, then they come home with the same person that put them in therapy. So there's no changes. There are no exchanges. They need to change their closet, change their clothes, the scent in the bathroom, the scent in because there are triggers. There are going to be reminders. Change the music. It's okay. The trigger is there for a reason. It's a reminder that, hey, this is, the guy that screwed you over. This is the guy that broke your heart. So women go through therapy, then they come home and then they don't do rehab. It's not rehab for drugs. It's rehab because I am your drug and you've been addicted to me. And so you have to change your friends. You can't go back to, a lot of women go back to his family to try to get close to him. And they'll call his friends or text his friends. The rehab is changing your environment, changing your scenery, changing your closet, changing your, the scent in your house, the gifts. Don't leave the gifts that they bought you in the closet, in the bathroom. You got to get rid of everything. You have to turn things around. And so it's not just therapy. It's like rehab, therapy, rehabilitation for yourself and changing your whole. You got to change a lot. Your mindset, first of all.
So I'm gonna share this really quick. She said he's living with her, but hiding from my family. But his no, he knows. I guess. Oh wait, but they live together. Okay. So I what I really want you to think about now is, what does Donna's spirit need? Anybody who's listening to this right now who's experiencing ghosting, and I know you're married to this man, so it's a different type of tie. I totally understand that. So now it's like, okay, what does Donna Williams need in her life? What does her spirit crave?
She,
And you have to really deal with that. Go ahead, Leon.
I know one thing she needs for sure. Let's say her husband is a Leon, right? Obviously, so she has to realize that when. So I'm gonna talk to Donna. Say I'm her husband, baby. You have to realize that you were too much for me. I didn't know what to do with you. I wasn't ready to be committed. You're more mature than I am. This lady right here that I'm living with, she easy. I come and go as I please. She don't question me. It's not that I feel like more of a man. I actually feel like more of a man with you, baby. But she doesn't question me. I come and go. I do what I want. She does the things that you were doing, the clothes, the cooking, the cleaning. We got along like I do. Like you and I did. But you were just a lot more of a woman than she is, and so I can't handle strong women. So that's why I went to her, because she's easier. And that's what happens, Neek. And so women go, why did he leave? And you know what they start doing? They start checking the woman's social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to see him and her together, and it's going to break her heart even more. She is POLR, path of least resistance. I have a friend now that was married for 3 years, and her husband divorced her and then got married the next day, or maybe the next week. Let's say the next week. He went to a woman that was the path of least resistance, very easy to run over. She's not going to question him. She's not going to challenge him. She's not going to, choose his friends for him. She's not going to talk back. She's very meek and mild. We go for the women that are meek and mild. And it doesn't matter that he's with her and you all are still married. It matters, but she is, after a while, she's going to run her course too. He's going to do the same thing to her that he did to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you can change. These women try to change a man that's been traumatized for over 100 years. Okay. For instance, my grandfather never told my father he loved him. My father never told me he loved me. My grandfather and my father were love showers. They weren't love speakers. So I didn't know how to say love. I love you. I could show love by buying gifts and planning trips, and we have food. That's, my grandfather died at 80. My father died at 66. I'm 56. That's over 200 years of not being able to say, I love you. So you think you can change that man and say, hey, why are you cheating? Well, my grandfather cheated. My uncle cheated. I was groomed to be a cheater. That's not a great excuse at all. But she's trying to undo what's been done over 100 years, and she can't do it. So my exes would always say, Leon, you didn't tell me you love me, and I would forget. And how do you forget to say you love somebody? I didn't know how to say it, Nick. And I learned that in therapy. I didn't feel it when I said it, because I was showing, utilities were paid. We had cars. The lawn was done. The gutters were clean. The house was clean. The kids had clothes and food and toys. So I didn't know how to say it. So my wife was like, you haven't told me you love me in a while. And I didn't even realize that I hadn't said it. I didn't know how to say it. When I said it, I didn't feel it. I felt when I was giving, when I was providing. So she's trying to answer some. First of all, Donna, you can't answer something that's unanswered for over 100 years, over 200 years. You didn't away. He walked away. He walked away to somebody that's easier. He walked, and it didn't just start when you called him. That's been going on, period. Because when it's been going on for that long, you catch him, guess what? You caught me because I got comfortable. I'm comfortable because I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. When I got caught, I had been doing that. It wasn't like, I was shocked. No, I was used to it. Again, comfortable, and the thrill of being a serial dater and serial cheater.
Yeah. Yes, and it's, you know what, it's just time to really stop the cycle, but it's up to that man to want to stop the cycle.
First, she can't, Donna, you cannot stop this.
He has to win. He has to want it more than you.
Yeah, you can threaten him, you whatever you it's not it's a trait that's deeply embedded in our spirit. It's deeply embedded in a demonic spirit. So when you have a demonic spirit, you don't care about hurting people. And that's where we got the empathy, the lack of empathy. And it's also the lack of sympathy because he knows that you cry every night. He knows that you're in a fetal position, but he does not care because he's with her enjoying his new woman and she's keeping his mind off of you because she knows the moment he starts thinking about you, they're gonna have issues in their household.
That's so good. This question is fire, Suzanne. So, Suzanne, when we talk about ghosting, now I know right now we're talking about a romantic relationship that has gone south, but ghosting also happens in friendships, family, and also in the workplace. So this is really good right here. You said time heals. So that's a whole other thing we want to talk about next about healing. But when you see them every day at work and they act like nothing happened, do you ignore them?
Yeah,
Small talk.
you
What can you do to heal?
you ignore them because guess what? They are ignoring you.
Okay.
And I tell women this, Nick, it is so women make it hard. I'm trying to give them my heart, my soul, and spirit. I was that guy that they're talking about. So don't go in there like, oh, he ignored me and start crying and leaving work half day, losing money. He's ignoring you because he can't deal with the regret of hurting you. And that's the truth. I never wanted to see the women that I hurt. I couldn't take that. I couldn't deal with it. That's why narcissistic people have very intense emotions. I do. But I know how to suppress them. And when I feel them coming on, I'm out. I ignore it. I don't want to see it. So when also what you're labeled with in therapy is called avoidance issues. I had avoidance issues. I couldn't make a good decision based on my gut instinct because my gut's
Mhm.
instinct was all off. You know what else was off? My cognitive skills were all off.
Yeah,
So
y'all have poor coping skills. Yeah.
very poor. And I tell these women, listen, I told a woman a month ago, boom, 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 boom. Her boyfriend was 25. Guess what? Before I turned 25, I was already diagnosed. So I told her what he's going to do. And she said, really? He did it. And she went back. He did it. And she went back. And when she went back again, he flipped it on her and tried to have her arrested after having sex with her. She almost lost her career. Y'all
See,
don't listen, ladies. I was a very demonic guy. I had a very corrupt spirit and a corrupt soul. I've done everything that your boyfriends and husbands have done. I'll never tell a woman to leave her man, but I tell you, don't leave yourself. You leave yourself. You leave
right.
out to dry. You leave yourself vulnerable. You leave yourself insecure. And so then you deal with the Leon. But I tell these women, this is what's going to happen. I don't care if the man is a 5'10" Chinese guy in China. If he's a narcissist, he's going to do the same thing that I did. I don't care if he's 6'4" white guy. If he's a narcissist, he's going to do the same thing that I did. That's why I know these different patterns. I did the same. We do the same thing. The ghosting, the silent treatment, the love bombing, the shunning, the gray rocking. We do all the same thing. Maybe we don't have all the traits: malignant, seductive, vindictive,
Mhm, mhm.
classic, whatever. Vulnerable narcissists. There are very different levels, but we do the same thing. I was a high functioning narcissistic person. And so I was able to not only manipulate and be seductive, but when I went into therapy, I was trying to manipulate her because I didn't want to be labeled anything but a great, strong leader. High, high functioning narcissistic people are hard to identify, but they're obvious because they're high functioning and the way they treat
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the way they look down on people, and then the grandiose mindset. Low functioning narcissistic people are easy to identify because they like, insecure and mad and grumpy, and everybody's against them in the world. So I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, you have to, yeah, back to what they were saying. Ignore them. They ignore you, ignore them. Don't be kissing their butt. They want you to come back and kiss their butt. They ignore you on purpose so you can feel it and then be like, well, Leon, why are you ignoring me? The fuck? Hey, and then you start kissing his butt. And then guess what? You bring him lunch, and guess what? You invite him over, and then you have sex, and the cycle starts again.
Yeah. Stop entertaining people who are not seeking to be present in your life.
Right.
I'm gonna say that again. Stop entertaining people who are not interested in being present in your life. This is your time to get your life back.
Right.
It's this time for the healing to begin. So, like he just said, if they're ignoring you, you ignore them. No small talk, because if you give them that small talk, that's going to be an inch for them.
And that
And you
inch
don't
turns
want to. You don't
to a
want to do that.
the inch
Go ahead.
turns to a mile of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure. The next question I have is how to stop ghosting. This is for people who are going to watch the replay who might be against what we're talking about tonight. And I know I ruffled some feathers on Instagram because of what I said about ghosters. Ghosters don't realize or they don't care that the other person is being wounded.
Don't
And they're not knowing
care.
that
Don't care at all. Not one iota of care at all.
yeah. And so I'm going to continue to speak the truth on it because there are some ghosters who might need some help and not know how to communicate. And so my last question is how to stop ghosting. And one of my biggest suggestions that I always tell people when they're dating, if you are no longer interested in someone, you need to voice that, prepare. Like earlier you said, ghosters are already preparing their exit. So if you're preparing your exit, you might as well go ahead and have the conversation, but have it in a healthy manner. As people today, we don't know how to communicate anymore. We're so busy on social media trying to find the answer. But the person that you have an issue with, first of all, the scripture says, if you have an ought with your brother, go to him. So if you're dating someone and you know they're feeling you and you're not really feeling them, you should already start creating a I statement. And what does
Right.
that mean? You're not looking to point the blame at them. No, 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 no. If you're going to that person, let them know, hey, I had an amazing time with you. However, at this point, I believe it's time for us to go our separate ways. I believe that you are an amazing person. I just feel like that this has to come to an end. It has nothing to do with you at all. And I wish you the best. That's how you end stuff. But I don't know, for some odd reason, people feel like they don't know how to have that kind of conversation. Go ahead, Leon. What you had to say about that?
Yeah, you have. So men, for me, Leons don't have an exit plan. We have an entry plan. We don't have an exit plan, and that's when we start to ghost, because we're not going to have the conversation and say, "Hey, look here, I'm not feeling you." You know, they can't do it. I couldn't do it. So what did I do? I ghost. I was out. I left. I didn't have to deal with it. I had avoidance. I'm going to avoid her questions when she see me. I don't want to see her ever again. If I do, I'm gonna try to get back with her and say, "No, baby, no, it's my fault, and I'm all good." And I wasn't good, and so you have to. I had avoidance issues, so you have to have the conversation. If they don't want to have that conversation with you, at that point, that means that it's over. Okay, don't beg and then
Please
it
don't.
ties
Go
into
ahead.
wanting closure. He's not going to give you, or she's not going to give you closure. I did a video on that too, and women just still, y'all have so much hope for broken men because you guys are empaths. You want to rebuild. You want to help. You want to nurture. It's a
I am not Bob the Builder.
yeah, and so
No.
there are women out here like that. So I tell them when they ghost you, that means it's over. Don't look for an excuse. Don't look for a conversation. Don't look for closure. They ghost you. It's disrespectful. It's rude. They left you standing there. They left you wanting and needing. They left you thinking they were going to come back. At that point, that means it's over. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to, I think, come to a place of acceptance.
Right.
I was dating a guy. Didn't necessarily ghost me. I ghosted him. And I'm going to tell you the benefit of that. The reason why I ghosted him, and I'm going to respond to Tracy's comment, it was amazing, but the reason why I ghosted him was because he didn't respond to the needs that I was looking for.
Right.
So when you are expressing to a man or a woman, excuse me, what you are looking for, and they're not looking to fix a problem or looking to accommodate, not so much compromise, but accommodate the relationship that you're forming, if that's what you're doing. Because the guy I was dating, we dated for 2 months, and there was consistency for a long period of time. And I started seeing things happen that second month. I'm like, hold up, what's going on? So it's important that when you start seeing them flags, you like, okay, wait a minute, make a decision. And so it don't take me long. Like Leon knows, a few of my friends who's probably watching right now, the ones that know me, I am quick to cut you off. when you are being disrespectful. So anytime someone's being disrespectful, and especially if you're not bringing any negativity into somebody's life, don't let nobody bring that into your life.
Yep.
What? Why would you? Why would you come into my life? No, 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 no. Because your piece is attractive. Something that you have, they want.
Right.
And if they're not looking to pour into you, they don't need to be there. This
Pe-
can be friends, family. They don't need to be there. If they're not pouring into your life, they don't need to be there.
Period.
They
I
stay where
agree.
you at. Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why you have to. In the beginning, we talk about frivolous. We talk about small things: a house, a car, degrees, kids. Yeah, 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 whatever.
Mm.
Talk about, have you ever ghosted anybody? You can talk about that on a date. It may people are going to be uncomfortable because we've been dating the same way for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, hey, Leon, what kind of red flags do you have? Oh man, there you go with that book. It's going to start coming out, and that first one is avoidance, not want to communicate. So that's
Ooh.
your boom, boom.
Right, right, right. That's it right there. When
And
they start avoiding, ooh wee. Yep.
and women, I'll give him a chance. Maybe he was tired. I shouldn't ask that question. And then you
No.
dating, and guess what? The true colors come out. So as tough like me now, I'm exposed to the world, right? So I'm always be honest. Whether she wants to stay with me or not, I'm still gonna tell the truth. Even if we're just friends, I'm gonna say, hey, this is who I am. Maybe she needs some help. Maybe she might start maybe I trigger her. Maybe I can help her with her triggers because I remind her of her ex, whatever. I have to be honest in the beginning because I want a true friend with the woman. I want somebody that knows me and is comfortable with me, and I want to be comfortable with her. I don't want any more secrets, Nick. I've had secrets all my life. I'm tired of secrets. Secrets wore me down. Secrets almost killed me. And so secrets kept me sick. I kept headaches. And so I like to have a conversation about real stuff, like who are you, Leon? Who's your dad? Who's your mom? Your grandparent? I like talking. I like communicating now, but before I wasn't all about that. If she started asking about that, so I'm like, oh, she on to something. Let me get up out of here. Or if I get her back, I'm gonna hurt her feelings, so she'll never bring it up again. And now I got the control. But I'm not down with none of that stuff anymore. I'm not a cheater. I don't want to cheat. It makes me sick. Think about a serial cheater, and I say it now. It's just not easy to say it. It's like I have to think about it. Now I'm exposed to the world. I got to face these things. I hid it for so long.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and I appreciate, and I always tell you this. I told you this in my conference last year. Your vulnerability, and because you're still young, and for you to put your story out there, and to have lost so many people, because you decided to fight against the grain,
Yeah.
But that's because you are at a place of healing.
Right.
And you realize what you need in your life. And so everyone's not there. And so I tell people our life, as influencers, it's a lot, especially putting ourselves out here, being vulnerable, trying to help people. There are people who are going to fall off because we are making a change. And we're here to really be a blessing to people who are suffering, who are in our pain.
Right.
And so I am grateful to have you on tonight. And we had some people that were commenting in the chat. Now, Tracy said, that's right. I was married to a Leon for 4 years. When I left, I ran and never looked back. No checking social media, period. We're not checking up on, loser. We're not doing that or anything. It was my time to heal. Yes, I love that. You took responsibility for your healing. And so I pray that, Donna, you are taking charge of your healing at this point, that you start researching, looking up things, and start focusing on you and not focusing on the past. But you begin to start using your past as fuel to find your healing, to learn the lesson.
Let me get my charger, Nick. Hold on.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll talk to the people. But I want you to think about that, Donna. Think about, finding your peace and finding your healing. And that's going to take some time. Okay. It's going to take some time to do that. And I want you to just give yourself some grace. A lot of times we beat ourselves up over things that are out of our control. Whatever is outside of your control, give that over to God and drink your water and mind your business. Okay, like that's what you should do. And get you some help in your local area. I'm not sure where you're from, Donna. Ghosting is abuse, so don't go back to the abuser asking for closure. Yeah, just what Leon said earlier.
Right.
Nancy said, it's sad that grown ass people don't know how to have a direct or difficult conversations. They don't. And I talked to my team about that. And we're going to actually again next year in our conference, we're going to give some tips in our workshops. One of our workshops to talk about having difficult conversations in a welcoming manner. You can do it. It's just in how you do it, the
Right.
tone, all of that matters when you're communicating. Because if you don't have to look for closure if you're going to talk to the person in a way that they can respect what you're saying. Because me, I prefer you to tell me the honest truth up front. So guess what? You don't waste my time and you don't waste yours.
You know why a lot of people are, another reason why people ghost because they can't face that person.
Yeah, that too. That too.
It's like they can't even say I'm sorry. I had a hard time apologizing. I'm like, I'm out. I'm gone, whatever. You'll forget about it in 3 months. In 3 months, they bring it back up, but it's a little soft at that point. But I had a problem facing the truth. I did. I still struggle with that, but I'm able to say, yep, you know what, you're right. And it may take me a couple of days, but
Hmm.
I'm like, man, I feel better now. Let me text him and say, hey, I'm sorry, I screwed this up. I can do it now. But before, there was no talk, text message calling. I
Yeah.
wasn't saying nothing. I'm like, yeah, I did it.
It's not
Whatever.
so much you sorry. It's just that you're not interested and you wishing them all the best as you move on. But I think people look at that as me. I gotta apologize. You're not apologizing. But I don't know. You mean is that what you take from that? The I statement.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I wasn't apologizing. I just didn't want to accept the fact that I was wrong. I had a hard time being wrong. So
That's
if
a
I
lot
apologize,
of
yeah, I learned everything. A lot of this I learned in therapy. I don't before therapy. Had I not gone to therapy, Nick, you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
I would not.
I'd be a 56-year-old dysfunctional whore.
Yeah.
But period. There's no well,
That's real.
well, Leon. No. 56-year-old dysfunctional. WHORE. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, I again I appreciate you just sharing. Anyone has any questions before we go? We actually went over time, and of course I knew we would because this topic is so is needed, and a lot of people are suffering out there. They are meeting all kind of out. You said it earlier, different levels of narcissistic behavior
Right.
tendencies. There are some who may not be diagnosed, but they have these tendencies, and so even in family, families and friendships, you can see that as well. Um, that's been 100. Does anyone have any questions for us tonight? And Donna, I'm really hoping that you seek the help that you need. You're really heavy in my spirit because I want you to focus on your healing and not worry about him. When you start focusing more on yourself, the healing, you stop thinking about him.
And
It's
stop
easier.
focusing and don't focus on her. How did she take him
Oh
away?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
she didn't
yeah,
take
yeah, yeah. That part.
yeah, she didn't take him from you, Donna. He walked into her arms. He walked into her house. He walked into her life. And if she was any woman like you, she would have turned his ass around and say, "Go back to your wife." So she's
Okay, if she was a real woman.
yeah. And so I tell women this. It rolls off my tongue real easy, but they're like, "Well, it's the truth. If she was a woman, she wouldn't have. She wouldn't even kiss him."
No, your problem is with him, not her. The other woman is never your issue. It's always the person that is with you that's engaging in the foolishness.
And her problem also is that she lost herself, and she's still losing herself. Period.
Yeah,
She can get herself back. She has to. She has no choice. Her health is going to decline. She's gonna stop wanting to look in the mirror. Her hair is gonna fall out. Her blood pressure is gonna go up. Her sugar level is gonna go up. Her cholesterol level is gonna go up. She's not gonna want to go out. She's not gonna want to, watch TV shows because of somebody that has 100, 200 years of dysfunction that's untreated, and he put that on her. You can't fix that, Donna. Fix
no,
your, get your health together. Be proud. Love yourself. It's not just like self love, but start respecting yourself more. I'm not saying you disrespect yourself, but respect yourself more by letting them two go. Don't wish harm to them. The karma is going to come. Let it go and go.
yes. I love what Nancy said. You have to dismantle the image you created of them and accept who they showing you they are. Period. Yes.
Right. I did
Yes.
that
Yes.
a lot. Yeah. And it's like, if a woman doesn't dismantle who she wants me to be, then she's going to always wait on me to be who she wants me to be. But I'm not going to be who she wants me to be because I'm going to be who I want me to be. And
Period.
I, even through therapy after 7 years, this was 7 years ago, I'm still learning stuff about myself. And I had to be like, man, that wasn't cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was deeply embedded in my spirit. I had great parents, had great grandparents, but when things went south, things went south. And so did my morals.
That's so good. Miriam said how to get rid of trauma bonds to heal. That's good.
So, like we talked about earlier, that guy has 150, 200 years of trauma that you can't fix. First of all, you can't. So people like, how do I let loose? How do I let go? He's gone. He let you go. Let him go. I know that sounds harsh, but he's gone.
Okay, so I will say this: are you talking about trauma bonds on your life or on the person's life? Because that's different.
I
I'm trying to
understand.
give you some grace, Miriam.
But
I'm
people,
just trying to see if it's for them or for, for the person they're with. But like I said, you get this every day, so you know these questions.
yeah, you have to undo the trauma bond. You don't have to bond with that person. Realize that your trauma is their trauma. They brought that into your life. Okay. It's going to take some time to undo it, but realize that when they left you, they're traumatized. You're traumatized. They are still traumatized too. And so
Yeah,
you have to undo that tie that you have with them through the trauma, through this, like Nancy said, dismantling that first here in your mind, okay, and in your heart and your spirit. Drink some tea, do yoga, meditate, go to church, you
and journal. It
journal,
helps.
cleanse, write a book about it, cleanse yourself,
Yes.
sit down,
Trusted
take
friend.
a trip, get on a train and go on a train by yourself. Become accustomed to being by yourself. Because a lot of women get hooked on this trauma bond because they just want to be with this guy. They want to be with this no good ass dude. And it's like, I need him. You don't need him. And I tell me, no, you need you. And he needs you more than you needed him.
That's real. Now that you better say that.
And so they
You,
trauma bond. They're like, I
yeah,
can't detach. You have to detach. How you gonna tell your daughter to detach to a guy that she may be attached to later on if you can't do it now? And I tell women, your kids see everything you're going through. Your kids know you in the bedroom crying, you got the door locked, you sniffing, your eyes are red, your makeup is running. Your kids see that stuff. They do.
mm-hmm.
Often somebody that's got 100+ years of untreated illness that he put that in your life and you just holding on to it. Now your heart hurts, your chest hurts, your brain hurts, you got headaches. He didn't change you. Now he's with somebody else. He's gonna change her too. Change yourself for the better. Don't stop loving, caring about, thinking about, and sleeping with the damn devil. That's who it is.
Yeah, that's real. He just gave you a mouthful right there. Someone else had said, let me go back to it. Um, the heart is hard to fight off, though it wants what it wants. How to battle that?
It's not your heart.
No, that's your flesh.
There you go.
That's your
So
flesh because God don't give us the desires of our flesh. He gives us the desires of our hearts. I'm sorry,
and
I'm going to word right there real quick. Like, let me just school you
yeah,
real
they
quick. No,
say the heart wants what it wants. So that therefore you telling me you don't have any control over your heart? You
yeah.
do. It's what you accept in your heart, is what you bring in there, is what you keep, is what you hold on to. The heart wants what it wants. What about what you want?
Right. What does your spirit want?
You
Because
yeah, you
heart
have to.
is
I'm
things.
not
Yeah.
I'm not yelling at these ladies. I'm just saying you have to undo these things. For a woman that says the heart just wants what it wants, then you've given up on yourself. So you're gonna follow your heart, which is gonna lead you to that dysfunctional, broken, mean man that's disrespectful to you, putting you down, making you sick. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there a lot of times you get so stuck on these men, you miss the good men that are right there in your freaking face. Next door neighbor, worked at the gas station, the carpenter, the cable guy. That man will love the hell out of you, but you stuck on this guy that sometimes don't have a job, maybe living with his mother. He's a, you know, I
That's so good. I learned that trauma bond happens when they love bomb and then discard over and over. Is that where you're okay? So that's what you're saying.
if you stay, the only way, the only way Leon was able to do it over and over and over again. You know why, Nick? Because she allowed it.
Absolutely. A man or a woman is only going to do what you allow them to do.
And you know what? You know what? A lot of the trauma bonding starts. You know where it starts? Sexually. So you're in love with my
Oh
penis.
yeah.
You love with my penis that doesn't even have a brain. That's
Oh,
what
that's real.
they. I'm not making fun of women, but they may like the guy is tall or he's muscular or he might like his beard or his bald head, whatever. But it all boils down to sexual, emotional, and physical connection.
Mm-hmm.
You
That
know,
is yeah.
I ain't nothing. I'm no good. But
Yeah.
the guy down the street is a good guy, a wholesome guy, goes to church, Christian or not, whatever. But he'd say, "Hey, I ain't gonna treat. I'm not a cheat. I'm gonna take care of you." Nah, you don't want him. You want me. You want the dysfunctional guy because you want to rebuild me. We have emotional and a physical connection, and we have chemistry. You don't even give yourself a chance to have chemistry with anybody else because you're afraid to let Leon go. Why? Leon already let your ass go. I did a video on that too, to discard, recycle, and discard a week ago.
Wow. Yeah. That's so
You won't
good.
give yourself a chance to date nobody else. You won't give yourself a chance to see anybody else. You won't give yourself a chance to let another man touch you. So you're just holding on to this cloth of Leon, and it's not doing you any good because I'm rotten as hell.
Mm-mm-mm. This is so good. You know I'm gonna bring you back. He's actually gonna be back, guys. About what? Back in October? Is it October or September? September. I think it's the end of September. He'll be back. We'll be talking about the qualities of a man. You do not want to miss out on that. Okay, so we'll be here again live on Facebook and YouTube. Again, my name is Shantanique Langston. I'm your personal and professional relationship coach, and I'm also the creator of the Relationship Conference here in Detroit. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and on YouTube, and also on Instagram. I am Nick Speaks on all platforms, and Leon is also Leon R. Walker on all social media platforms. Make sure you guys check out his books he have on Amazon, and he has a new book coming out in September, right?
Yeah, I'm shooting for September. There'll be I'm gonna do like 2 weeks of free book giveaways. Everybody that's interviewing me, like you,
Okay.
we'll probably start first with you, Nick. So I'll do a that you'll be Monday, Mr. Wilson be Tuesday, so and so so. So I'm
Okay.
hour giving away signed books. You know.
Oh man, I appreciate that. We're gonna have to talk about bring the book, give me the book, and then we're gonna have to talk about a chapter
Hmm.
of the
Yeah,
book. I got you. I'm gonna support you and promote you on my social media
yeah,
on Instagram. You already know I got your back.
yeah. We're
But
gonna do
thank
it.
you, everybody. Miriam, Tracy, Donna, Susanna, thank Sean, Shantae. Thank you, girl, for coming on. Came from Nothing podcast. Thank you for coming on.
My little brother.
Nancy. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate you guys. So if you guys have any time, you guys can come on over to Instagram. We're gonna go live for a few minutes, and we're gonna be done for the evening. Again, guys, we'll be on again, not next week, but in 2 weeks. I'll be back here talking about he tried it. I will be sharing my story of the guy I was dating, and of course, I'll be bringing on a special guest. Her name is Winter Harris Williams. You guys should know her. She's been on OWN TV on the Real Housewives of, I think it's Maryland. And so if you don't know, you guys can tap in with her. Her story is incredible. I've been knowing her since 2019. When I first met Winter, she was married. No, she was not married. She was divorced and single. She's also a relationship coach. And the second time I talked to her, she was engaged and married, and she was a part of my conference. I think last year, right? My conference was last year.
Yeah, December I think.
Yes. So she was a part of my conference in the spring of last year. Don't get off yet, y'all. Guess what? She is now divorced. You do not want to miss out on the conversation we're going to have in 2 weeks. So until next time, you guys be safe. God bless. Donna, make sure you do some self-care, give you some therapy. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. You guys take care.
You want me to go over to Instagram when, Nick?